events or a repetition of the events that have taken place here in Los Angeles recently, we have to go to the root. We have to go to the cause. Dealing with the condition itself is not enough.
Dear Mr. Massa, I'm just trying to mind my own business. What's the matter? It's just another day, another black king captured. I'm about to lose my brain, stuck inside this ghetto rapture. I got a lot of smoke. If you want it, you can have it. They want a hat trick, but this is black girl magic. Ain't talking about the kind that'll make you disappear, but I'm talking about the power of the melanin within. Ain't looking for trouble, but I'ma say this one time. I put two dupes up if you try to touch mine. We still want justice for Samir and Trayvon. You say you don't see color, but racism ain't blind. They targeting little kids whose skin look just like mine. So I'm paranoid, it's a war zone outside. And I'm a black queen, so if you ask me to step out of my car, you gon' have to snatch me. Cause I ain't going no damn well. Had to spend my whole life living unfair. Ancestors got my back and they right here. You can never understand, it's a nightmare. Living in my black shoes by the black rules. You can keep your handshake, I don't dap coon. The white man to go nuts if he cash you. But you all on his side like a damn fool. Make it make sense.
We are oppressed.
Queen.
We are exploited. We are downtrodden.
Make it make
Queen.
We are
sense.
denied not only civil rights, but even human rights.
Ahmadiyah.
So the only way we're going to get some of this
Ahmadiyah.
oppression and exploitation
Queen.
away from us or aside from us is come together
Queen.
against the common enemy. Who taught you to hate the texture of your
Ahmadiyah.
hair? Who taught you to hate the color of your
Ahmadiyah.
skin?
Parents, pay attention to the books, the school system, given to your little children. Lies mixed with wisdom. His skin too bright, so he was blind to the prison. My skin just right, so I collide with division. You trying to pray to God, but we tired of religion. No savior saving, we got to save our savings. We used to pay miss, how we gon' make the slave rich? But who's to blame, and tell me why you complaining? We need a team effort just to rule the nation. Like a bad relationship, missing communication. We missing moderation. They're trying to get a poison to my population. No reparations. I'm getting tired of Satan.
We are oppressed.
I'm
Queen.
getting tired of waiting.
We are downtrodden.
Queen.
We are denied not only civil rights, but even human rights.
Ahmadiyah.
So the only way we're going to get some of this
Ahmadiyah.
oppression and exploitation
Queen.
away from us or aside from us.
Okay. All right. So hello, everyone. Hello. And so first things first. All right. Can everyone hear me? How is the audio? Ones in the chat, please. If the audio is good, everyone, please let me know. Because it has been a struggle. Everyone put ones in the chat, please. If the audio is good. Two, if you hear any static or if you have any issues or you can't hear me. All right, here we go. Let's get into it, beloveds. So you all know, and so you all know that I have been having issues with the sound and everything, right? And I do believe that it was StreamYard. I believe it was StreamYard. So I worked on it literally all day yesterday, back and forth in the chat with StreamYard. They kept saying it wasn't on their end, but it has to be. So with that all being said, I decided to just try to use an external mic. Okay, that one of my lovely subscribers sent to me a few months ago, but I had not made use of it. I would also like to thank all of those of you who send me your cash apps, your super chats, and you send me gifts and all those things. I really do appreciate you. All right. Nicole says, Queen, the colors are popping. Thank you, beloved. LaMarcus said I'm out of line. I saw that. All right. So anyway, I just want to thank y'all, and I missed y'all today, and I do apologize for taking so long to get this live started because I was trying to make sure that the sound was going to be clear. Okay. I just wanted to make sure the sound was clear. I was having some issues and all of that stuff. And so, like I said, I had to go back and forth with StreamYard. Okay, so hello, Terry Hinton, Stacy, Louise, Midnight Green, Vince, I am from the UK, Christopher, Silent D, Sexy One, Desmond. All right, shout out to my moderators in the house, LaMarcus, Terrence, Stacy, the agitator, Nicole. All right, thank you for your beautiful words, Nicole, beloved. All right, Pearly, I know Otis is in here. One Muscle Power said, hey, Queen, song still banking. You going platinum for that. Thank you, beloved. Thank you.
All right, Sierra, Mark Ayers from the UK is in the house. Got my UK brothers. Shout out to everyone. Beatzilla, I see you. I see you. All right, so listen. Hey, Sergeant King. Listen, shout out to everyone in the chat and everyone tuned into the Queen. So let's just go ahead and get into it. I missed my family. All right. I wanted to go live again yesterday, but honey, due to the issues I was having, I wasn't able to do so. Okay. Floric said I shared a video with you, Queen. Thank you, beloved. All right. I'll be checking my emails. Okay. So with that all being said, let's talk about this first and foremost. Unfortunately, Dwayne Haskins, the Pittsburgh Steelers quarterback who was killed, right? His parents said they're not going to the funeral. Now, the funeral was today at 2:09, right? If I'm not mistaken. It was around 2:09 p.m. today, according to reports. But the family said they weren't going to attend, and they would have a memorial for him this weekend. So let's talk about that, because I think this is real sad. I think this is very sad. Okay? Parents of Steelers quarterback Dwayne Haskins not attending their son's funeral. So the parents of Pittsburgh Steelers quarterback Dwayne Haskins say they won't attend the funeral services on Friday. They say, we have never met or spoken to his wife, and we didn't want our son's funeral service to be the place where we met her for the first time. This is what Dwayne Sr. and Tamara Hawkins said in a statement that they gave to USA Today. Now, Haskins was killed on April the 9th, as you all know, in Fort Lauderdale, Florida. We found out, as I reported days ago, that he was actually walking because he had run out of gas. And he spoke to his wife while, before he was killed. He had spoke to his wife, told her that he was going to try to get gas and everything, that he was walking. And unfortunately, he was hit by a dump truck and was killed. And then his wife, I played for you all the 911 where people were calling in and stuff like that. And even when his wife had called 911. So that's a very unfortunate turn of events for him. So the sad thing is that the parents, whatever differences they had because they didn't meet the wife. Now, here's the thing. If they say they never met the wife or spoke to her, that also would have to mean that they didn't go to the wedding. And so if they didn't go to the wedding, clearly there was something going on there, something, underneath the surface. But it's just really sad that they allowed their feelings or whatever they have against the wife to prevent them from going to their own son's funeral. That's just doing too much, as far as I'm concerned. I mean, people grieve however they want to in different ways and things like that. But also, I think it's kind of petty to hold on to grudges and things like that, especially in a time of death. Okay, when everyone should be trying to come together. So that's just all so crazy to me. They say 2 memorials are planned in Haskins' honor. One is Saturday in Rockaway Township, New Jersey, and a vigil is also planned for Sunday at Haskins High School, Bullitt School in Potomac, Maryland. And they say Haskins was born in Highland Park, New Jersey, and moved to Maryland in the 9th grade. Calabria and Dwayne Haskins were married in March of 2021. In July, Calabria Haskins was arrested in Las Vegas and booked on a felony charge of battery and domestic violence after an argument led to Dwayne Haskins suffering a split upper lip and a missing tooth. Okay, the case was dismissed in January of 2022. So that's likely why the parents don't like her. Maybe she was physically combative with their son. Okay, but at the end of the day, I still would have gone to my son's funeral. That's just me. But that's likely what it was. Maybe because they felt like she was abusive towards him and all of that. So the Florida Highway Patrol is still trying to determine the circumstances of Haskins' death, and it's not commenting until its investigation is complete, which could take up to 90 days, according to reports, okay? So anyway, like I said, that's extremely sad. This young man had a lot of potential and had a lot of things going for himself, and it's just a shame that he had to lose his life. And even further sad to me that his parents didn't want to go to the funeral. Okay? So now let's talk about this. Let's talk about this. And I know y'all been talking about Mike Tyson, honey, having to throw those haymakers. Mike Tyson had to lay hands upon someone on the airplane. But let me say this about that. Some people bring things on themselves and they'll torment you and taunt you and, provoke you and all of those things. I really feel like the guy who did it was clout chasing, probably trying to catch a bag, because I won't be surprised if he comes out talking about he's going to sue, which likely he will. Okay. And that's the thing. Randall said money. Absolutely. And so here's the thing. A lot of times these racist devils purposely try to escalate situations and interactions with Black people, especially if you're someone who has money, okay? They not only try to escalate situations, but they also, purposely antagonize you. And so I feel like to be bothering and harassing Mike Tyson. So that was all just on purpose as far as I'm concerned. And at the end of the day, that's likely going to cost him a pretty penny. Brad got what he was looking for. Yes, he did, honey. Yes, he absolutely did. But I'm going to tell you like this. If I were Mike Tyson, I would not have hit him. I would have said some things to hurt his feelings, but I probably wouldn't have hit him because I would have known that he just wants to sue. He's just trying to catch a bag. But someone, Vince I Am said, imagine antagonizing a heavyweight boxing legend. Right. Who does that? He clearly was trying to get a bag. Okay. And his friend, I heard what his friend said, and it seemed to me like his friend was basically trying to act as though, the guy was just the whole, innocent victim, saying that he asked for a selfie and Mike Tyson just beat his behind. That's not what happened, honey. Please tell the whole story and not just the portion that makes your friend look good and not try to paint a narrative. Okay, your friend was harassing that man. And I'm going to tell you like this. Someone also said that the guy actually threw a water bottle at Mike Tyson. So I hope he did. Because if he threw a water bottle, that's self-defense. Okay? I don't care how much he beat your ace. If you throw a water bottle at him, then that is self-defense. All right? So he had every right to defend himself at that point. Ali says, I want to know why they don't tell that man why they don't tell him to sit down somewhere. Exactly. The agitator said his friend was male-splaining. He was, honey. That's what they're going to do. He absolutely was. Christopher says that man was not wearing a mask. We are still in Stupid 19. Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. Okay. Rich said I would sue the airline if I was Mike. Now, I don't know if I would sue the airline, but because they really couldn't control what that man was doing. But if the man tried to sue me, I would be suing him, honey. I would file a countersuit, okay? That he was harassing me and antagonizing me and all of that. And especially if he threw that water bottle like they say, and I hope he did, so it can be a clear-cut case of self-defense. All right, if Kyle Rittenhouse can get away with murder, honey, and say it was self-defense, Mike Tyson should be able to get away with that ace beating that he handed out and call it self-defense, as far as I'm concerned. Okay, Terry Hinn said, it's so good to see you, Queen. Thank you, beloved. Thank you for your kind words and your contribution to the channel. Peace, love, and blessings. And it's good to see you all, right? Okay. LaMarcus said spitting. Okay. So anyway, now let's talk about this. So there has been a video that never sent to me. One of my subscribers, there's a video about some gang activity about these kids. And I also had a press conference that I found about a week or so ago about them talking about this gang stuff and all the gang violence and all this. And I'm going to say this. I'm going to show y'all the video. But at the end of the day, I find it very interesting. I find it very interesting that they're putting this out there on the forefront when they talk about gun violence. There is gun violence. Yes, there is. In the Black community, we have thugs, unfortunately. We have some of these people out here just have no regard for human life. They don't care about anything except what they want and all that. And they are clearly menaces to our society. And I've told you before, I wish Black people would stop taking the stance that we don't want to snitch. Because if you're a concerned citizen and someone is causing trouble in your community, killing people, selling drugs on the corner, doing all this crazy stuff, I feel like it's your duty as a civilian to report them. Because too many of these drive-bys happen and all of this and these gang wars and stuff, and then people's innocent children turn up dead. Like the little 11-year-old boy who just a couple of weeks ago in Atlanta got shot in his head at a skating rink. So if nobody's going to talk, you can call Crime Stoppers. You don't even have to give your name, honey. So it's not like somebody's going to know that you gave the information. Okay, and that absolutely is not snitching. You could actually be saving someone's life. And little do you know, you could actually be saving your own life or someone that you know. So just think about that. That's what we need to do. At the end of the day, we're trying to unify our people. We need to come together and unify. But some of these fools, we don't need to unify with them. Okay, some of these people need to be cast to the side. If they're menaces to society, and if they're out here killing their own Black people, then they're no better than the wanted supremacists. So we need to separate from them as well. All right, and that's just what it is. So with that all being said, now let's talk about these gangs. I'm going to show this video. While I'm showing you all this, I'm going to look and see if I can find that press conference that they did about the gangs a week ago also. Okay, so everyone please get the likes up, please like and share, and I'm going to share my screen so you all can see this foolishness. And these are the thugs that some of our own people are raising. And I'm going to tell you like this. You can't always blame parents for their children's behavior, because a lot of these parents try to teach their children the right thing, but they just don't do it. You know, they go to peer pressure, or some people are just, you know, sociopaths, right? But at the end of the day, here's the thing. Some of these parents also know that they have children out here and getting in gangs and doing and selling drugs and all that stuff. Some of them know these things and they don't care. Because unfortunately, some of these younger parents of today, they are down with that, because some of them are former gang members themselves. Also, some of them, you know, don't care where the money comes from. If their children are bringing home money, they know good and well they don't work jobs. And if they're hanging out late and not going to school and all that, they know. They may not know exactly what they're doing, but they have to know that something's not right. And if they're not putting that in check and chastising them or whatever, then they're a part of the problem also. I'm not saying all parents, but some parents are absolutely a part of the problem. And that's what needs to stop. Be accountable not only for yourself, but for your children. Okay? So anyway, I'm going to share my screen so you all can see this. Likes up, everyone. Please like and share. Thank you in advance. Yes, Sierra says some take the money. Absolutely. Yes, they do. And so they're not going to tell them not to be out there selling drugs and carjacking people and stealing cars and going to chop shops and all that. They're not going to say anything because they're benefiting from it. And that's fine with them until something goes down. You understand what I'm saying? LaMarcus said, Queen, also, what's going on with the gangs with Sheriff Villanueva? Speaking of those gangs, honey, let me tell you something. Sheriff Villanueva sits there and pretends that he can't do anything to stop the gang culture. But like I told you all numerous of times, that's been going on with that department for at least 50 years. That's 5 whole decades. It started before Villanueva. He's not the only one that's upheld this. He's just the one that's currently upholding it. And if you ask me, he needs to be arrested. And everybody that's a part of those gangs and the gang culture needs to be arrested. And when these gangs are going out here, you know, doing these corrupt activities, these police gangs, right? Where they're going out here, you know, jumping out on people, harassing and brutalizing and killing people and all that, they need to be held accountable for that. That's why I get sick and tired of them acting like the police, you know, are above the law. Like the same rules don't apply to them, because the same rules absolutely should. Because some of them, they go by the street code just like other people that are out here as criminals as well. And some of them are actually more criminal than the criminals, the street criminals, as far as I'm concerned. Okay, so he commits me with that. But they did say that he's going to have to testify, you know, about these gangs or whatever. And let me say this too. I told you all about a year and a half ago that some of those gangs in his department, the banditos, executioners, they not only initiate people by having them shoot somebody, but who do you think they're shooting? They're shooting Black people. And also, many of the people in the gangs are Hispanic. So when they say Black and Brown coalition, they can miss me with that. All right, because they're out here terrorizing us just like the wanton supremacists. Okay, and Villanueva, isn't he Hispanic? All right, I'm just saying, honey. So with that all being said, don't try to lump us in with them, because a lot of them are the same ones going out here killing Black people. All right, because they want to be down with wanton supremacy, and that's just what it is. Okay, so let me share my screen. Everyone, please get the likes up, like and share. Thank you in advance.
Come right here, get hurt.
Niggas don't care about me, my heart. Like, niggas really forgot about me already. Like, I don't want to say too much.
New York City is currently experiencing historic highs in gun violence. In the past year, we have reported extensively on members of the YG's gang in the Bronx. Despite several high-profile takedowns of alleged members, a significant portion of the gang is actually back on the streets, as opposed to in jail. For example, alleged YG's member Stunna Geek has recently been released from custody. In January, while being held in Horizon's Juvenile Detention Center, Mr. Geek, along with other inmates, held 3 ACS employees hostage and started a riot because their lunch was late.
I'll be dead. Fuck me outside. What's my cornball? Niggas on my body, treat me, huh? I ain't gonna say too much. I'm gonna make it hot. Woo!
As a result of this, he was rearrested, but still, somehow, just a few months later, he is back on the streets. Another alleged YG's member, Ede Guns, who has been known for being quote-unquote a psychopath, has also been released from custody. It has been said that in disses and videos, Ede Guns has even bragged about not caring if he shoots women or children.
How you gonna run if you coming in buildings? Hey, women and children, we hear anything, so don't be with civilians. Cause we gonna end them.
This is my first summer home since 2020.
In an April 2022 walkthrough of the River Park Towers, a so-called headquarters of the gang, several alleged YG's members implied they couldn't wait for the summer and planned to hurt rival gang members. One alleged member states that a rival member of the OY's gang in Harlem, who is just 13 years old, will be another Noah Bala. Noah Bala was a frail 16-year-old who was stomped to death in one of the most brutal murders in Bronx history. The YG's gang's main rivals are the OY's gang in Harlem, and the OG's gang in the Melrose section of the South Bronx. In 2021, according to the NYPD, alleged OG's associate PJ Glizzy participated in the murder of gang member Matthew Sumter, also known as Matt Sav, in Upper Manhattan. Allegedly, he drove a dirt bike very quickly down W141st Street and 8th Avenue while a man on the back of it fired repeatedly into a crowd of rivals. One bullet hit Sumter, who collapsed and died. PJ Glizzy rapped about an eerily similar situation in a song he released. PJ Glizzy, whose real name is Paul Johnson, was not arrested until 2022. In the meantime, alleged YG's high-ranking member D-Thang G's, who is still remanded on Rikers Island after his arrest for literally dozens of felony drug and gun charges, is becoming furious. He has called in from jail on numerous occasions, saying many have forgotten him while he has been incarcerated.
Niggas don't care about me, my heart. Like, niggas really forgot about me already. Like, I don't even I don't want to say too much. Tell them I need some numbers. Send the numbers in. If I got the wrong people watching.
Still, he plans a major comeback as a drill rapper once he is released, if that occurs. It is clear that gang politics in New York City are becoming incredibly turbulent and reaching a breaking point. As the summer of 2022 is coming up, it is unclear what will happen in the city, but as the weather heats up, the NYPD and city government is struggling more than
So anyway, with that all being said, that's really sad. Okay, they are worse than the Klan because they're doing this to their own people. They don't care anything about themselves or any other person, any other black person. And that's just facts. But here's the thing. As I have told you all numerous of times, the police go out here and they recruit gang members, right? Hispanic gang members, Latino gang members. That's what Sheriff Alex Villanueva's department has been doing. The banditos, those are Hispanics and Latinos. So with that all being said, they're out here actively recruiting gangs. And the thing is this. Vince says they have sold their souls to the devil, unfortunately. Absolutely. And so with that all being said, here's the thing. You know, I have told you all before that if the government, the U.S. government and law enforcement if they can collectively come together to dismantle and to demonize and vilify and arrest the Black Panther Party, if they can do that to the Black Panther Party for self-defense, who were clearly trying to patrol their own neighborhoods and protect their own people against police brutality. Now, if they can bring them down, you think they can't bring down these gangs? Of course they can. Of course they can. But let me just tell you something. The gangs are a part of the Masonic order, in case y'all didn't know. These street gangs and thugs are a part of the Masonic order. Police officers are part of the Masonic order. That's why they have the Fraternal Order of Police. Okay? Whether y'all know that or not. And so these gang members are the foot soldiers. Okay? Now they'll go out there and they'll arrest some of them and all of that and confiscate weapons and drugs, right? But at the same time they're doing this, that's to make it look good as far as I'm concerned. Because at the same time, they're still allowing this to fester. Why aren't they cracking down on them, infiltrating them like they did the Black Panther Party? I'm so curious. Why aren't they getting the CIA involved like they did with the Black Panther Party? I'm just curious. Why don't they have a war on gangs like they did the war on drugs that they started themselves by putting drugs in Black people's communities and neighborhoods, and they allow these gang members to sell the drugs. And some of these people sell drugs for the police. Okay, so that's just facts. It's documented evidence of all of this. And so my whole thing is, here's another thing. They're putting this video out talking about them terrorizing the summer, saying they're going to cause terror in the summer. They're going to do this, that, and the third. But what I want y'all to remember something is the summer of 2020, when all those Black men were swinging from trees. They didn't want to address that issue. They didn't want to talk about that. All of this was committed by wanton supremacists. And they lied and said that these were suicides. But y'all know it wasn't suicides, because I told you all right before these things started to happen that there was a book written, right? And they talked in the book about something known as the Day of the Rope, when they would start hanging Black people from trees, right? And when they were doing all of that, and also pay attention, there was a letter that was given to sent to the NAACP. I want to say it was the chapter in Washington, if I'm not mistaken, but it was sent to the NAACP telling them, admitting that Klansmen and wanton supremacists were going to start hanging Black people from trees in the month of July. And that's when it all started. Now, what did they say when that letter came out? They came out and tried to assure us that it was all just talk. That's what they did. They didn't give us warnings about it like they did these gang members. Now they want to give us warnings. And the reason they want to do this is because when they start coming for your guns, trying to take away your ability to defend and protect yourself against violence and things like that, they're going to use Black people as the reason. They're going to say they got all these gangs and there's so much gun violence, but they're not going to talk about these white mass shooters. They're not going to talk about that. They're not going to talk about the white gang members who call themselves frat brothers on college campuses and universities. They're not going to talk about that. They sell just as much drugs as the people on the streets. They just sell their drugs in the suburbs, on college campuses and all of that. That's what they do, okay? And so they engage in just as much violence and all of those things. They may not be out here on the street corner, but they still engage in violence. And if you look up what they call so-called hazings, where they have these white people taking, some of their frat brothers and all of that and killing them. And this is all covered up. They took one guy and gave him all this alcohol and put him in the trunk of the car and drove around with him for hours, and he died. They don't talk about those type of stories, okay? They want to paint the narrative of Black on Black crime. And yes, we do have Negro and Negroes in our community who are clearly menaces to society, and they need to be locked up and never to see the light of day again. They absolutely do. But you know what the government does? The government will arrest some of them just to make it look like they're trying to fight, against these gangs. But are they really? I don't think so. Because right now, what I do know is there's numerous Black revolutionaries, former Black Panther Party members, right? African Liberation Army members, right? who are sitting behind bars with life sentences. And as I told you all numerous of times, I've actually written letters to parole boards for some of them. And at the end of the day, they're never going to let them out. That's what they're not going to do. They're never going to let them out, unfortunately. All right? But they will let these gangs and thugs continue to terrorize Black communities because they know that that's genocide. They know that's what it is. These fools out here killing people in our community are committing the same type of genocide on us as the wanton supremacists. And those who uphold the gang culture and are down with that and think it's cool to throw up gang signs, they're all idiots. I saw a video the other day of a girl. I don't know if she's a rapper. I don't know who she is. She was on someone's podcast being interviewed. She looked like she was Hispanic, Latino, or biracial or whatever. But she was talking about, oh, I'm not in a gang. I just be throwing up the gang signs because it's cute. It ain't nothing cute about being a fool. It's nothing cute about being a detriment to a community. That's what it is. So some of these people have a warped sense of reality as far as I'm concerned, and they're full of self-hate, and they are sociopaths. Okay, because as I've told you, these serial killers, these Caucasian serial killers, those are psychopaths. People born with no ability to feel remorse, empathy, or sympathy unless it's for themselves. And then you have, and if you don't believe that, read the book, The Iceman Inheritance, and then you'll understand why I say that. But also, the Black people who go out here and do these things, who act so heinous and go out here and become serial killers and go out here and engage in all types of violence and don't have a regard for human life, those people are sociopaths. Okay? Sociopaths. There's a difference because they become that out of what goes on in society. That's what they become. The only difference between the two is the psychopath is born that way. The sociopath becomes that way. Either way, they're both clearly as equally nefarious. All right. Terry Hinn says she's supposed to be a rapper hanging out with the Bloods. She's nuts. Right. Like that's a clout chase. To be out here affiliated, gang affiliation is clout chasing for some of these fools. All right. Until they get caught up in some BS like Tekashi 6ix9ine. And then all of a sudden, oh, I was just a studio gangster. I wasn't really doing it. Now they want to start snitching. Now, see, that's snitching. That's the definition of snitching, what Tekashi 6ix9ine did. That's snitching because he's a whole criminal engaging in the same things that those gang members were engaging in. But to get himself out of trouble and lessen the culpability on himself, he started singing like a mockingbird and telling on everybody else. Now that's a snitch. That's a rat. But if you're just concerned about your neighborhood and people going out here committing nefarious acts, then that's totally different. Another thing I want to say before I move on to the next topic is that, you know, they're talking about they're going to be terrorizing the streets for the summer and all of that. Y'all need to pay attention. When they start putting stuff like that out there, the media that is, and the wanton supremacists, they're painting a narrative. Because those thugs will be terrorizing. It's not just the summer. They always terrorize. That's what they do. You know, they have no regard for human life, not even for their own, because they know they can get killed. They know they're going out there getting into it with their so-called ops and all that. So they don't even care about their own lives, let alone ours. But here's the thing I also want to say. At the end of the day, let's not forget that there are some racist devils, wanton supremacists, who also go around doing drive-bys in Black neighborhoods. And they want you to think it's always gang related and that it's always Black on Black crime. But in fact, some of them are putting on Derrick suits and going out here creating chaos, committing genocide on our community and doing all types of things and putting on, you know, putting blackface on and all that, going and robbing casinos and all that stuff. I've reported this to you numerous of times. What about the white man who put on blackface and then went and killed his baby's mother because of a custody dispute, but he tried to act like he was Black? What about the white guy who did the same thing, put on the blackface and, you know, to make himself look Black, and he looked convincing. He looked like a Black man. I mean, he already wore his hair in cornrows. And so he went in there acting like a Black person and robbed a whole casino in Vegas. And the only reason he got caught is because he had some signature grills in his mouth, on his teeth. And someone, when they saw the video footage, they recognized those teeth. That's how they knew he really wasn't Black. And with that all being said, I want to let y'all know this. Just because somebody is out here wearing grills in their teeth, you know, and talking with our slang and all of that, and speaking the way Black people speak, that doesn't mean that they're down with Black people. Some of those people are just as racist as somebody wearing a Confederate flag shirt or driving a Ford pickup truck. And at the end of the day, some of them are the same ones going out here committing crimes and acting like they whole Black people, just like he did. So please watch as well as pray, honey, and don't fall for the banana in the tailpipe, and stop thinking that just because somebody act like they down with us, that they're really down for us, because that's often not the case. Okay? Yes, Omari says some of them from Chicago. Absolutely. Absolutely. I do believe that's exactly what's been going on in Chicago, because like I told you all, there's numerous people from Chicago who have told me personally that there was drugs and guns, specifically guns, crates of them, planted in alleys and back ways over in Chicago neighborhoods for Black people to acquire those guns and weapons, exotic weapons, ones you wouldn't just normally find on the street or in gun shops. So who y'all think is dropping these things off? I'm just saying. All right. I believe it's law enforcement. Now, I can't prove it, but that's what I think it is. I think it's something to do with state-sanctioned executions of Black people. Another thing to keep in mind is a lot of these police officers belong to satanic cults like the Order of the Nine Angles. Y'all can research that for yourself. They said they mostly consist of law enforcement and military personnel. All right. And they get initiated by killing somebody. Who you think they gonna kill? Some of these slayings of unarmed Black people are absolutely blood sacrifices and rituals. Pay attention, honey. You can think it's conspiracy theories all you want, but all you need to do is do some research. The documents are out there. Yes, Haitian Levi said military-style weapons. Absolutely. And in fact, I told you all a couple of weeks ago about a rocket launcher that was found in a Chicago neighborhood. Fortunately, the person who found it turned it in back to the police. Okay, because I don't think it was an accident that supposedly, as they say, the police that is, said it fell off of the back of their SUV because it wasn't secured properly. Who's not going to secure an expensive rocket launcher? Who's not going to secure that properly? And nobody heard it fall off. Nobody knew nothing. When they got to the station, they didn't realize it was missing and then try to backtrack or go back and see or whatever. Please miss me with it. I don't believe any of that. Okay, One Muscle Power said it's the police. I absolutely believe it is. I absolutely believe it is, honey. I wish I had the proof. Okay, so with that all being said, now let's talk about Kim K. Let's talk about it, because here's the thing. Why this is important to discuss. Some Black women are going to catch themselves in the same predicament as Kim Kardashian. Oh, now she wants to cry and play the victim. Honey, you ain't nobody's victim. You did this to yourself. All right. Oh, I'm sorry. Before I get into Kim K, I forgot. Let me show you this press conference about this gang bust by Sheriff Grady Judd in Florida. And they said it was a year-long operation. Like I said, they will arrest gang members, some of them, but these are the foot soldiers, honey. Why don't they just get rid of them and dismantle them collectively across this country like they did the Black Panther Party? That's all I'm saying. And the rest of the Black people who've been fighting for liberation. Make that make sense. So I'm going to share my screen once again so you all can see this. Likes up, everyone, please like and share. Thank you in advance.
A coffee addiction was more something that was prescribed.
Hello, everyone. Thank you for being with us today. Before we start our press conference, let me introduce to you some of our dignitaries that have agreed to be with us and to speak. First and foremost, our attorney, Ashley Moody, for the state of Florida. Simply the very best. Her goal is, when she wakes up every day, to make sure this is the safest place to live in the entire United States, and she does that. And to cooperate, because she believes, and you'll hear her say this, like I do, that nothing's more important than your safety and security. If you're not safe and you don't feel safe, you don't flourish, you don't thrive. And then we have today our Department of Corrections Secretary, Ricky Dixon. He's going to speak second. Ricky Dixon is a dear friend of mine. His dad was a warden. He started at an entry-level position and is now the Secretary of Corrections for the entire state. He is a professional in the greatest sense of the word, and we are fortunate that the governor appointed him as our secretary over corrections. I can't say enough about Brian Haas. He's going to speak third. Brian is our state attorney, and Brian is our teammate. He is the one that prosecutes all of our cases locally. He is the one that works side by side with me and our chiefs that are here today to make sure that the people of Polk County are safe, and they are. Our crime's at a 50-year low. You're going to hear us speak of some horrible things by some horrible people, but that doesn't represent the safety and security of the county as a whole or the different cities, but it shows our energy to make sure everyone is safe, and we're not going to allow these horrible people to hurt other people in their gangs, the community. The next speaker is Mark Britton with Florida Department of Law Enforcement. He's a special agent in charge for this area. Mark is a good friend of mine and is if it weren't for the Attorney General, if it weren't for FDLE and our police chiefs, we could not have successfully done this investigation. It just couldn't have happened. Normally, when you hear me talk about gangs and gang activity, we never mention the name of the gang. And the reason for that is we don't want to market for them. But sex, money, murder, which is a subset of the United Blood Nation gang, is so violent. They're so ruthless. They're so dangerous. We need to bring to the community's attention what they are doing. Now, they're focusing on those who sell drugs, trap houses. They're focusing on other gangbangers. They're focusing on other criminal elements. But let me explain something to you. You're going to see today a group of people, young people, some of them in their teen years, some of them in their 20s, but all young people. And it's never all right to rob, shoot, kill other young folks. Sex, money, murder prides themselves in creating fear in the gang communities and in the drug communities. Pistol Pete, who started this gang in the 90s, is currently serving a life sentence in prison.
Okay, I'm not going to show all of that because it's clearly about an hour long. It's clearly about an hour long. So what I will do is put the link in the chat. So if you all want to go back and watch the whole thing in its entirety, you can. Hold on, let me copy the link real quick. Now, I'm glad that those thugs have been arrested because they need to be off the streets because they endanger all the rest of us. But I would also like for him and the rest of law enforcement to talk about those white gangs on college campuses as well as other places. And I would also like for them to talk about the Russian gangs, all right, who deliver meth to the U.S. and all that. Also, I would like for them to address the Asian gangs. There's absolutely some of them that they don't talk about. And these Asian gangs, in fact, terrorize Black business owners, specifically those Black people who own beauty supply stores and nail salons. And if you all remember, a couple of years ago, T.I.'s wife, Tiny, opened a nail salon in Atlanta, and it was burned down. Now, I don't doubt that one of those Asian gangs did it, although I can't prove it. That's my opinion, because they have been said to have burned down numerous Black businesses where they're selling beauty supply things and also nail salons, okay? So pay attention, honey. And like I told y'all, most of the race riots in this country, if not all of them, were started due to wanton supremacists being envious of Black people making money and all of that and being business owners. And they do anything and everything they can to get rid of them, okay, and to destroy their businesses. They've always done it, and they still do it. All right, so y'all know what I told you about the turkey leg hut and about the young black man who owned a smoke shop, what happened to him. And then even more recently, I just talked to you earlier this week about the black woman who had her own business, the food truck, and how they confiscated her money in a civil asset forfeiture. And she didn't even commit a crime, and her boyfriend was accused and arrested, but he was acquitted because he didn't commit any crimes either. So these are just some of the things they do. Let's not forget that Asians are also honorable mentioned wanton supremacists, and many of them can't stand us, but they'll make their money off of us and at the same time say that we're hating on them, committing hate crimes on them. If they were so afraid and fearful of us that they need a whole hate crime bill, well, then why are they still in our neighborhoods and communities selling their products and giving their services with their restaurants, nail salons, beauty supply chains, and all that, making money off of us? I'd like to know. Because if I was afraid of a group of people, the last thing I would do is want my business around them. So they can't make it make sense. Okay, they can't. Cece says, yes, Queen, black business owners need to keep their identities hidden. Absolutely. Absolutely. I know a couple of people that have black-owned businesses, but they don't let anyone know that their businesses are black-owned. And that's just facts. All right. Louise said we need to stick together. Absolutely. Terry Hinn said, great point, Queen. Thank you, beloved. Okay, so now let's talk about Kim K. Let's talk about Kim K. Everyone, please get those likes up. Please like and share. So let's get into it. And now here's the thing. Hold on. Here's the thing. Kim Kardashian on an episode of Keeping Up with the Kardashians, I guess. I don't watch the crap, never have. But it was said that she was all upset because, you know, her son was watching some children's channel, right? And there was something that came up. We had her cry face on there. I'm not going to show the footage because that's, I don't want any copyright issues because that's from her show. But anyway, they said her son saw this thing on there about her sex tape. Now, he can't read, according to her, but he saw her cry face and he was laughing, came and showed it to her. And that's when she found out that someone was saying stuff about her sex tape. Now she wants to cry and play the victim. Well, honey, let me tell you something. She made her money off that sex tape. She made her money. She made millions and millions of dollars off that sex tape. That's her claim to fame. That's how she got famous, honey. She didn't get famous through hard work. She didn't get famous for being talented. She got famous for that sex tape. So she wasn't crying when that sex tape catapulted her to stardom. She wasn't crying then, so honey, don't cry now. Because you know, like my grandmother always told me, well, same thing make you laugh can make you cry. So that's what she needs to do, is deal with it. That's what she needs to do. Because here's the thing. If you have common sense, you should know that anything you do that's sketchy in your past, anything that could be embarrassing, or anything that you don't want out there, one day you may have children, right? And your children, that stuff can come back to haunt them because then their little friends find out about it and start taunting and harassing and bullying them over it. Okay? So she should have thought about that before she did it, but she didn't think about it. But now she's crying about it because now she has children. But see, that's how she got to where she is. So don't cry. Do not cry, honey. I have no sympathy and empathy for her. You know, and there's a lot of black women who do these same things. They put themselves out there. They're all over OnlyFans and all that stuff, right? They're on OnlyFans. They out here doing porn videos and showing their bodies all over Instagram, talking about their Instagram models. Honey, you ain't no Instagram model because last I checked, Instagram wasn't no modeling agency. Instagram wasn't no modeling agency, all right? So please miss me with all that. So what you are is a thought. That's all. You're just a thought, right? A thought pocket. And when you out there fighting and it's all good and you making money and you getting money from men for your pictures and your body and your sexual activities that you engage in and all that, honey, that might be all good and fine for now. But one of these days when it comes back to haunt you, don't say that you didn't know any better because surely you had to. Surely you had to. But I will say this, the fact that Kim was crying, yes, it's ratchet. Absolutely. Some people have no shame. Okay, so they're not embarrassed by these things. Now, as they get older, 20 years from now, like Kim K, it's been 20 years at least since she had that sex tape debacle. But here's the thing. That's not the end of it because clearly Whack 100 said that he had another sex tape about her. That's what he said. Now, I don't know if he's lying or not, honey. I don't know if he's lying or not, but that's what he said. Let me see if I can pull up their receipt. In the meantime, everyone get the likes up. Please like and share. Likes up, everyone. And also, here's another thing. Let's talk about this real quick. So, a potential juror in Kim Kardashian's case against Blaque China, who's suing her family, the Kardashians, suing them for $100 million because she says they disparaged her. They got her reality show with Rob Kardashian canceled and all that, and said that and they've said all these things about her or whatever, and she feels like they stifled her career and made her lose cash. Well, she's suing them. So one juror said that he couldn't be a juror because he's afraid that he would only think about Kim Kardashian's sex tape. So let's listen to this. Okay, it says potential juror mentions Kim Kardashian's sex tape in court during Blaque China defamation case. So she got a whole lot more to worry about, honey, than just what her son saw on that kids channel. Because now WAC 100 talking about he got a whole nother tape that's much more nefarious than this one. So he says. And the juror brought it up in court right in front of her and her mother and the rest of the folks. Now, I'm going to tell you like this. I don't know if this is true or not, but I believe that back in the day when the tape came out, they were saying that Kris Jenner is the one who leaked it. They said Kris Jenner was the one who leaked it. Now, I can't substantiate that claim, but I tell you what, that's what they said. And if she did, after Kim called her attorney, crying about it, she should have called her mother next. Okay? So that's who she should have called, honey. Because wasn't her mother her manager? I'm just saying. Now, listen to this. An awkward moment. Kim Kardashian's sex tape was leaked 15 years ago, but it came up again this week during jury selection for Blaque China's defamation lawsuit against the family. They say everything to know about Blaque China's lawsuit against the Kardashians. This is what they say they have information on. They say when an attorney asked potential jurors on Monday, April the 18th, if they had any strong feelings about reality TV, one man said that he hadn't ever watched Keeping Up with the Kardashians, but that he had seen that tape. That's what he said. He said, I have watched Kim Kardashian's sex tape, and I don't think I can be impartial on this case. That's what he told Page 6. That's what he said, according to a report from Page 6. The man later added that he would have trouble being a juror because he would be replaying that sex tape over and over again during the trial in his mind. And he's likely telling the truth. He's likely telling the truth. So when he said this, Kim, Khloe, Kylie, and her mother, and Rob, they were all sitting right there. They were all present, okay, when he said this. So I'm quite sure that isn't what she was expecting. But they go on to say the selfish author, age 41, and her sisters, Khloe and Kylie Jenner, were present in the courtroom, along with her mother and Rob Kardashian, who split with Blaque China in 2017. I'm sorry, they said Rob Kardashian was not present. They say the real Blaque China alum initially filed the lawsuit against the family in 2017 after her and Rob's reality show. China alleged that Kim, Kris, Khloe, and Kylie interfered with the show after it was renewed for a second season, claiming that some footage was already filmed when E told them they were going to put the series on hold. And she feels like they were behind it because she was having problems with Rob at the time. And so Blaque China is supposed to be seeking millions in compensatory and punitive damages from Kris, Khloe, and Kylie for defamation, as well as intentional interference with the contracts and intentional interference with prospective economic advantage, according to her attorney, Lynn Ciotti. That's what she said in a statement in October of 2020. And so China is thrilled to have her day in court. Now, they go on to say that the Kardashian-Jenner family filed a motion to dismiss the lawsuit that same month that it came out, but the judge denied their request based on substantial evidence that was submitted by Blaque China of the unaired footage that she claimed was meant to come out for season 2. So Blaque China has a whole case against them, honey, and she has a good case because they had already told them that they're going to have a second season for her show, And they'd already start filming and everything. And then next thing you know, she's having problems with Rob. And all of a sudden, they say her show's put on hold, honey. So anyway, that's just all real messy, as far as I'm concerned. But hold on. Let me pull up this receipt about App 100. And App 100 has been doing a lot lately because he's out here talking greasy about Nipsey Hussle too, from what I hear. Likes up, everyone. Please like and share. Okay, so here it is right here. And she said that she will burn App 100. Supposedly, that's what Kim supposedly said. All right, hold on. Okay, so reality star Kim Kardashian threatened to sue App 100 and Ray J if they release a second explicit tape on the internet. Now, during the first episode of the new series, The Kardashians, on Hulu, the billionaire influencer calls her attorney Marty Singer after she hears about App 100, Ray J's former manager, threatening to release unseen clips from the sex tape that made her famous. So the 41-year-old influencer says that over my dead body is this happening again. I know the right attorneys. I have the right attorneys this time, and I'm not going to let this happen to me again. That's what she said. Now, they say Kim made almost $20 million from her first infamous tape with Ray J. Almost $20 million, honey, and she got famous and all that. Got rich and famous, okay? Pay attention. Now she want to cry? Foul. Please miss me with it. She said, I have all the time, all the money, and all the resources to burn all of them to the effing ground. That's what she said. Honey, you got all the time, and you do have all the money, and you got that money from that sex tape, so miss me with it. Now, you made money from other things and other avenues, but initially, you got that money from that sex tape. So now you want to burn people for talking about it, honey. Burn your mama while you at it, because they did say that first sex tape, her mama leaked it. I don't know if she did, but that's what they said, honey. So please miss me with it. Now she want to sue Ray J and App 100. Sue your mom, too, while you at it, if that's the case, if it's that detrimental. She said that she would exhaust all of her money and power to guard herself and her reputation and for her children's sake. Honey, your reputation has been in the dust. You don't have a reputation that you need to guard yourself from. Your reputation is bullshit at this point. Okay? You know, it says in the Bible that a good name is more precious than silver and gold. So, honey, when you put yourself out there and act like a whole thought in a hole, and you didn't care that tape was leaked years ago, you were all fine with it to make your coins, honey, and get famous and all that to clout chase clearly. This is nothing but a prime example, beloveds, of when clout chasing goes absolutely wrong. That's what this is, honey. Now she worried about her kids, honey. You should have thought about the children you might have one day before you let that tape get out there, because she knew the tape was coming out. She was fine with it. She collected the funds for it and all that. So don't cry now. That's all I'm saying. Don't cry now. And for the rest of these Black women who's out here, for Black women who are out here doing the same thing, don't cry foul when one of these days, the stuff you're doing, posting on Instagram and on OnlyFans and all that, don't cry when that stuff comes back to haunt you. Because here's the thing. Some people have these OnlyFans accounts and they think that the stuff that they're showing on there is for only fans. Honey, it's a lot more for than only just your fans. Because some of those fans are sharing that stuff with other places and in other spaces. Let's not forget about screenshots, screen recordings, and all that. So, honey, you might think you're showing it on there, but, honey, that stuff is probably all over the internet by now. And unless you got money or somebody that you got connections to who can scrub the internet of all that, which I'm sure you don't. Because if that were the case, Melania Trump would have scrubbed the internet for all the stuff that she got out there with her naked behind. So I'm just saying, honey, y'all Black women, y'all not Melania Trump. You see, this country is not going to sit there and try to help cover up your shenanigans, right? They're not going to defend your nefariousness, okay? They've always sexually objectified Black women. So when those things get out about you, don't be surprised if a future employer happens to come across that and then don't want to hire your behind. Now you can tell them, oh, that was 20 years ago, that was 10 years ago, that was 5 years ago. It doesn't matter to them. Once it's out there, it's out there. And some people are going to judge you based upon that. Some people are going to look at you crazy. Okay? That's the thing. That's how some people are going to view you. All right? Especially when they have, things that they can physically see. Hearing something about a person is one thing, but seeing someone do something is another. All right? And that's just facts. You can say something and that can come back, but when somebody does something that can be seen and then people put it out there, that comes back a whole lot worse. That's all I'm saying, honey. So it's too late for her to be crying over it, honey. The end of the day. It's too little and too late, boo. That's all I'm saying. But anyway, with that all being said, I'm going to go ahead and conclude this broadcast. But I want you all to know I'm going to be doing a video about Mike Tyson. And it's not about that fight on the plane, honey. It's about something a whole lot more serious. Okay? It's something a whole lot more serious. And I absolutely agree with Mike Tyson on this. And we're going to talk about that. All right? So I might do that video later on tonight. If not, I'll definitely talk about it tomorrow. So y'all make sure you stay tuned. In the meantime, between time, everyone enjoy this rest of this evening. Enjoy your weekend. Stay safe. Be high vibrational, right? Be high vibrational. Do something productive and constructive, never destructive. Remember, each one teach one. That's how we grow and thrive. And if you're raising teenagers, especially and specifically, please make sure you are talking to your children about having, self-love, having self-respect and decency, and about being respectful to their elders. Where are the young people who say yes, ma'am, and yes, sir? Where are they? Because they are few and far between, honey. I don't know who's raising these demons these days, but it starts in the home. And if you are not out here telling your children the right things, teaching them about themselves, teaching them to love and respect and all of that, to be kind and considerate and all of those things, and to tell them that we already are having genocide perpetuated amongst us, upon us, by the wanton supremacists, and they need not engage in the same nefariousness unless they just want to be a part of that. If you're not telling them that, then you are part of the problem. All right. So that all being said, each one teach one. That's how we grow and thrive. And I hope you all enjoy the rest of this evening. And I will talk to you all again soon. All right. Everyone, please like and share, subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already. Peace.
In order for you and me to devise some kind of method or strategy to offset some of the events or a repetition of the events that have taken place here in Los Angeles recently, we have to go to the root. We have to go to the cause. Dealing with the condition itself is not enough.
Dear Mr. Massa, I'm just trying to mind my own business. What's the matter? It's just another day, another black king captured. I'm about to lose my brain, stuck inside this ghetto rapture. I got a lot of smoke. If you want it, you can have it. They want a hat trick, but this is black girl magic. Ain't talking about the kind that'll make you disappear, but I'm talking about the power of the melanin within. Ain't looking for trouble, but I'ma say this one time. I put 2 dukes up if you try to touch mine. We still want justice for Tamir and Trayvon. You say you don't see color, but racism ain't blind. They targeting little kids whose skin look just like mine. So I'm paranoid, it's a war zone outside. And I'm a black queen, so if you ask me to step out of my car, you gon' have to snatch me. Cause I ain't going no damn well. Had to spend my whole life living unfair. Ancestors got my back and they right here. You can never understand, it's a nightmare. Living in my black shoes by the black rules. You can keep your handshake, I don't dap coons. The white man to go nuts if he cash you. But you all on his side like a damn fool. Make it make sense.
We are oppressed.
Queen.
We are exploited. We are downtrodden.
Make it make
Queen.
We are
sense.
denied not only civil rights, but even human rights.
Amadeus.
So the only way we're going to get some of this
Amadeus.
oppression and exploitation
Queen.
away from us or aside from us is come together
Queen.
against the common enemy. Who taught you to hate the texture of your
Amadeus.
hair? Who taught you to hate the color of your skin.
Amadeus.
Parents, pay attention to the books, the school system, even to your little children. Lies mixed with wisdom. His skin too bright, so he was blind to the prison. My skin just right, so I collide with division. You trying to pray to God, but we tired of religion. No savior saving, we got to save our savings. We used to pay miss, how we gon' make the slave rich? But who's to blame, and tell me why you complaining? We need a team effort just to rule the nation. Like a bad relationship, missing communication. We missing moderation. They trying to get a poison to my population. No reparations. I'm getting tired of Satan.
We are oppressed.
I'm
Queen.
getting tired of waiting.
We are downtrodden.
Queen.
We are denied not only civil rights, but even human rights.
Amadeus.
So the only way we're going to get some of this
Amadeus.